Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Songbirds Creations, Crochet, and More. My name is Margaret, and I'd like to welcome you to the Songbirds Nest. I decided since I was just sitting here crocheting, I'd go ahead and come on a little early. So I know probably there aren't very many people in here yet, but I hope that people will start to filter in soon. Good morning, Camille, if you're still here. Good morning again, Linda. Good morning, Amber. Hey, how are you? How was the trip home? Good morning, Melissa G is in the house. How are you guys doing this morning? I am feeling good. I slept like a rock. And, oh, well, thank you, Amber. I appreciate you being here. You're still awake. Oh, my God, girl. So you have not slept yet? Are you insane? Ugh. Well, I hope you lay down at some point, even if it's during my live. I hope you lay down and go to sleep. I hope you're laying down now and go to sleep. You need to sleep. Insane in the membrane. Yes, you are. Girl, you can't be doing that to yourself. Well, I know you'd be sleeping if you could. I totally understand that. Oh, okay. Well, that's better than if you hadn't slept at all. Good morning, Jay. Welcome in. Good to see you. So, what is everybody working on this morning? Have you got your coffee? I hope so. Once again, I'm having my coffee with the raspberry champagne creamer. It is so yummy. I'm going to miss it once it goes out of season after the holiday, probably. Working on cuddling with the cat. That's a good thing to work on. I tried to brush Icy a little bit this morning, but it was a very little bit. He wasn't wanting to be cooperative. Oh no, Amber. That totally sucks. And when they break, they just go into a bazillion pieces. It's like 2 years from now, you'll be finding little pieces of glass in your kitchen. Good morning, Marianne. How are you today, Twinny? I have several spares from all of the coffee pots that our water has ruined over the years. I've kept the carafes. Don't ask me why, but sometimes I use them to make iced tea in because, a carafe with the lid on it, I can sit it out on the picnic table and make sun tea. My hubby has tried cleaning the drip coffee maker, for the third time now. Still not working right. So I think he's finally convinced it's time for it to go to the trash can. No matter how many times I told him from the very first time that he tried cleaning it that it was trash, he's got to do it his way, so I just let him do his thing. And he tried cleaning it all day yesterday, and he started cleaning it again this morning. He did not want to accept that it just wasn't going to work. Yeah, Amber, you probably will want to take the vacuum and try it again. What did I break? Oh, I have a big stack of Pyrex dishes, casserole dishes, and they kind of go, from a big 9 by 13 down to more like a, I don't know, 8 by, well, maybe 6 by 8, something like that. But I have 2 of the 9 by 13 ones. Well, now I have 1 of the 9 by 13 ones. I was taking my stack of them out of the cabinet, and they were extremely heavy, and I ended up dropping the whole stack of them on the floor. Only the very bottom one broke. So, well, Amber, you should have time to be able to get to Walmart after church then and get yourself a replacement carafe and be okay for the rest of the week, right? If we had teleporters, I'd teleport you one over because I'm sure I probably have. I know, right? Right, Amber? If we had teleporters, I'd teleport you one over because I'm sure I probably have one that would fit your coffee maker. With all the coffee makers we've had over the years, I've got to have one that would fit. Oh, no. Well, even if they don't have the brand replacement, they may have a aftermarket brand that would fit. Tank, I probably have at least that many too. Yes. Good morning, Lana. How are you today? Did you sleep well? Oh, man. Well, good, Lana. I'm glad to hear that. I slept like a rock. Once I got to sleep, man, I was out for the count. My bird has been awake and chirpy for about the last 2 hours this morning. I don't know what she's being all chirpy about, but man, she was over there just chirping her head off earlier. Now she's going to be quiet because I'm over here talking, I guess. Ooh, Tank, that's not enough sleep. I hope you're going to get a nap at some point today. I almost took a nap yesterday. I was really cold, and I went into the bedroom to lay down and almost fell asleep. And my hubby turned the TV off because I was laying on my bed watching. If I lay on the other end of my bed, I can see out to the TV. And so I was kind of laying on my bed watching the snowboarding. And I must have drifted off because the hubby came out and said, "You want me to turn off the TV?" And I said, "Go ahead." So he did. But then as soon as he turned off the TV, I was wide awake again. So I went ahead and got back up. But I was still cold. So I went to the living room and found one of my throws to wrap my legs and feet in. And then I was a little bit better. Good morning, Cammie. How are you today? So you guys, the Mobius wrap was starting to be pretty big. I think maybe by the time I'm done with this one skein, it might be big enough. Yeah, this yarn is so pretty. Good morning, Kim. How are you today? Have you ever tried a Mobius wrap, Camille? They're kind of fun. Just rolled out of bed? That's a good thing to be doing on a Sunday morning. Nothing wrong with sleeping in. I'm good. I slept really, really well. And yeah, like I said yesterday, that new pillow seems to be doing the trick. It just goes around your shoulders. So when you make it, when you start your chain, you put a single. So what I normally do is I do my chain and make sure that it's long enough to go around my shoulders like a shawl. And I will do one row before I connect the chain together because you want to put one twist into it to make it into the Mobius. So that's why it looks the way it does. But yeah, once you get it as long as you need it to wear it, you just put it on and, you know, pull it down on your shoulders wherever you want it to be. And you can make them as wide as you need them to be to, you know, go down on your arms as far as you want or whatever. But yeah, I had thought about trying to make one and maybe putting like a sleeve down on it. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough room in here to do that or not. But what's interesting about making a Mobius wrap is when you're crocheting it, because a Mobius is a one-sided figure, when you start a row, okay, where did my row start? It should be coming up. Okay, so my row started here. All right. So when you start a row, you're going all the way around one side and then all the way around the other. So it's almost like you're doing 2 rows at once because you're adding a row at the top of the wrap and then you're also adding a row at the bottom of the wrap. So it's kind of interesting. See you later, Amber. See you tomorrow. You're doing your first poncho? Oh, fun, Cammie. I love making ponchos. A cape poncho. Okay. So what shape is it then, Cammie? Okay. Yes, Tank, your boho ponchos are so pretty. Ah, okay. That's cool. I don't love putting squares together, but for a boho poncho, I mean, you're making such big squares, I probably could handle doing one of those. So y'all, my hubby didn't want anything sweet for breakfast, so he decided to have a salad. And so he's having a salad with sardines. Yeah, sardines in it. And those are some of the stinkiest little fish I have ever smelled. My whole house smells like a can of sardines right now. Yeah, a salad for breakfast. Go figure, Camille. Hey, he made it for himself. I'm not going to say a word. That's what he wants to eat for breakfast. Knock himself out. You've never made a poncho, Julianne? Oh my God. Of all the stuff you've made, I am just so shocked that you have never made a poncho. Goodness. The sweater I'm wearing, you want to talk about a warm sweater. This thing is called the Habitat sweater, probably because you can live in it. And it's basically a cocoon sweater, but it has a what they call a tush extension. So basically it's you add on to the bottom of the cocoon part to make it long enough to cover up your rear end if you want to. And it is so squishy comfy. I made it out of homespun or a homespun style yarn. And yeah, I really do like the colorway. I don't know what the colorway name is, but yeah, I love it. Good morning, Chuck. That's right, Camille. You make a poncho, it'll make you want to dance. You know what? I have made ponchos and I don't own a single one at this point. Every poncho I've made, I've given away. So I need to make myself some new ponchos. The goat yarn? Yeah, I probably would. I like, Cami, I'll put it this way. I like yarn. I am not prejudiced. I have not found a yarn yet that I just absolutely hate. Now, I will say there are sizes of yarn that I prefer. I don't really love bulky yarns. Anything, I mean, I'm okay with going up to about a 5, but going 6 and larger, I really don't love. I've done one blanket with blanket yarn, and I used my leftovers to make slippers. That was my, it's kind of like motherhood. I've done it once and that was enough. Yeah, that was my thing with blanket yarn. I've used it once and that was enough. Yeah, no fringe. I agree, Tank. I'm not into the fringe. I like a nice border. Well, you know, I say I don't have any ponchos. I do have a couple ponchos. I've got my enchanted ponchos, so I do have 2. I don't know why I didn't count those. My brain is not working. I did find a cool pattern for a poncho that is flat across the front but has the point in the back. So, like, you can make it so that, you know, it's as short as you want it in the front and then have the point going down the back to cover up your rear end if you want to. I'd really like to make one of those. I would probably make it long enough in the front that it would, you know, come down on my wrists because I do like my arms covered. If I'm going to wear a poncho, that's kind of what I'm wearing it for. So I'd like to make one of those. Good morning, Kelsey. Party in the back. Right, exactly. If you do a boho one, it must have fringe. Not necessarily. It could have just a fancy border on it. Still be boho. But yeah, I'm not a fringe fan, so I avoid fringe on pretty much anything that I make. At least if I'm going to wear it. Now, if I'm making it for somebody else and they want fringe, hey, I'll put fringe. You just started and you're already changing the pattern? Well, knock yourself out, Cammie. You are allowed to do that. Your cats would love fringe? Yeah, they probably would. yarny bits to play with. How are the kitties this morning after their shots the other day? Good morning, Tina. Did you just slip in? I didn't see you. Baby girl would love the fringe. Yeah, probably. Babies tend to love stuff that hangs down within their grasp, like hair. Yeah, I remember that with my son. He used to like to grab onto my hair. And I had this one top that I absolutely loved. It was a deep, beautiful fuchsia color, kind of silky fabric. And whenever my ex and I would have a date night, I used to love that top, to wear that top to go out in. Well, if I was dumb enough to put it on and then feed my son, it never failed. He would burp up on me and get it on that top. Never failed. So finally I learned to not put that top on before I fed him before we left, because yeah, if I did, I didn't get to wear it out. Yeah, it was an oh no. I finally learned my lesson. It was like, don't get your good shirt on before you feed the baby. I don't know if that color affected him negatively or what, but well, he wasn't really a puker so much, but he would, if I was burping him, he might burp up a little bit. Cammy, I've got a story about peeing. So it was Easter Sunday, and my sister had her bag of Easter candy sitting on the floor of our den. And I had given my son a bath and had him laying on the blanket on the den floor while I got him dressed. Well, before I got him into his diaper, he peed, and it went straight up over his head and barely missed the opening of her bag of candy. You have never seen somebody snatch a bag of candy out of the way so fast in your life. It was hilarious. Also, when I was in the hospital, when I had him, the nurse came in to bring him in to see me. She brought him in from the nursery, and she had a big wet streak down the front of her scrubs. And she pointed and she said, "See what your son did to me?" Apparently she didn't get his diaper on him fast enough either. It's one thing with little boys. You let that little thing get cold and it's going to shoot at you. Oh no, Cammy. Well, I know since you had a baby in the car, you were probably careful. Oh no. Did he pee on your uniform, Cammy? Oh, goodness. Good morning, Nifty. Nice to see you here. Yep, it definitely happens to the best of us, for sure. Especially when it comes to baby boys. They will get you every time. V-stitch. Simple V-stitch. Oh, thank you, Kelsey. Yeah, this yarn is gorgeous. This yarn is Bumbo Moonlight, and unfortunately there's not a name for the colorway, and they don't make it anymore, so yep. This is a yarn I bought from Hobby years ago. I mean, many years ago. And I kind of held on to a bunch of it for a long time. And I recently started getting rid of some of it. So different people have received a little bit of some of the different colorways that I bought. But I still have another skein of this one, and then I have 3 other colorways that I decided to keep for myself because they're autumn colors and I really love them. So I do have one that's very autumn color. It's like got golds and rust and kind of an orange color in it with a kind of copper color thread running through it. And I wanted to do a shawl with it with a leaf pattern in it. And I finally found a leaf pattern that I really like. Yes, you definitely see sparkles. This yarn is super sparkly. Yep, lots of sparkles. And it's nice because when you work it up, you really don't feel the sparkles in it. You know, I think back when they first used to make um, yarn with a sparkly thread wound through it, they didn't do as good a job with the sparkly thread as what they do now. Seems like these days the sparkle is a lot softer, so you don't really feel it once you've crocheted it or knitted it. I remember having something, a sparkly sweater years ago, that the sparkly thread, um, you could feel it. It would like make you itchy. These days it doesn't seem like sparkles do that. Now you want to make one? Well, you should. They're super easy because all you're doing is just crocheting in straight rows. It's just that you twist that first row to, you know, give the wrap that look. So, I mean, all you're doing is crocheting back and forth straight rows. Can't get much easier than that. It would be perfect to throw. Yes, it would. It'd be great to pull on, to throw on for church. You're right. You could dress up just about any outfit with something like this. Ooh, that sounds nice, Nifty. I've looked at the Red Heart roll with it. There was one that was like a gray colorway with, and it looked like it had silver sparkle to it. I was real tempted to get that. But I've got so much darn yarn already. I really don't need to be ordering myself any yarn. I've got so many cakes of shawl and a ball that I need to use up. Um, I've got one that's called Opal, that's like a gray, kind of silvery gray base, but then it has like a rainbow glittery thread running through it. Um, it's pretty nice. I need to figure out what I want to do with that. Hi, baby. Good morning. How are you doing today? How cold is it over there where you are, baby? Ooh, Tank, that sounds like it would be gorgeous. That's actually a really good idea. You know what? In fact, I bet I have enough to make a poncho with some of that. Thank you for the idea, Tank. I have some really cool squares that I made several years ago. Um, it was a crochet along that Hooked on Sunshine did, and it's a very textured square. And I have several of them in like a denim blue. I really need to go ahead and put them together. They're like 12 by 12 squares, so I really need to go ahead and put some together and do some type of border on them and make a poncho with them, because they would be perfect for that. Eight, but feels like -6. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. It says it's 19 here, but I don't know if I believe it. Maybe it is. 19, but feels like 14. So it could be. You're not going to do your live, Cami? I'm going to only be here for an hour regardless. I mean, I'll go a little more than an hour this morning because I started early, but will be 82 Fahrenheit. I would take the 82. Actually, I'd take the 48. I'd be happy if it was 48 here. That would feel like springtime. Your house just got a hole from the attack? Or from the attic? From the attic? That's not good. We're supposed to get up to, we have one day this coming week that's supposed to get up to 41, but then we're going to stay up above freezing. We'll be in the mid to upper 30s for the rest of the week. And I am so thrilled because hopefully it will melt off all this snow that we've got. Although that'll mean my backyard will be a mud pit, which means Icy will be a mud pit. But the water from the rain flooded. Oh. Yes, Julianne, you live in a rainy state. Yellow rain. Lana, you're so silly. Hello. Joey was here. First time I've seen you here. Thank you. I could be a granny, but I'm not. I do have a son old enough that he could make me a granny, whatever, but he has not seen fit to do so. Actually, I would love to have a grandchild, but has not happened. Actually, Joey was here. I can't be a granny because I'm actually only 29. Ask Camille. She'll tell you I'm 29 and holding. My morning is wonderful. I'm here with hanging out with all my crochet and coffee buddies. So I can be your future child's granny from the internet. Well, you know what, Cammie? I would definitely do that. Yep, 29 Club. That's what we have over on Camille's channel. We have the 29 Club. So no matter what age you are, when you come to Camille's channel, you're 29. All right, Cammie. Well, it was good seeing you, sweetie. Have a good rest of your day. When you hit 69, ugh. Lana, you can claim to be whatever age you want to, sweetie. I am crocheting what's called a Mobius wrap. So basically it's like a shawl that you just drape around your shoulder. And it just has the little twist in the front of it. And it's made with this really, really pretty yarn. This yarn is called Bumbo Moonlight. And they don't make it anymore, so I call this yarn my collector's item yarn, because you can't buy it anymore. Well, maybe you could if you could find it like on eBay or Mercari or something like that, but they don't sell it online anymore. I don't think they even make it anymore. Yes, it's very pretty yarn. One of these days I'll be making my shawl with the leaves in it, and I'll show you guys the autumn colorway of it that I've got that I love so much. Yeah, Linda, and I'm thinking that this one skein of this yarn is probably going to be enough to do the entire Mobius wrap. I don't think it'll take any more than that. Of course, doing a V-stitch helps because it's not a yarn eater. You guys, I sat down and did the videos for the 2 stitches that I wanted to do tutorials for. And got them done, started watching them back, and promptly deleted them because I didn't like them. So today, after I'm done here, I'm going to sit down and redo the video. So hopefully later on today, I will have a couple of nice stitch tutorials up on my channel for you guys to check out. Joey was here. Do you crochet? Yeah, I like V-stitch. It's a nice quick stitch. It's fairly mindless. You don't have to pay super close attention. You do? Oh, that's awesome. What do you like to make? Book covers and berets. Well, that's cool. Very cool. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking, Joey? That's okay, Tank. He or she. You're from the Philippines. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, are you a male or female? I don't want to. Camille, that's okay. I don't mind being called Granny. I'm old enough I could be a granny. I'm just not one. And that's through no fault of my own. It's my son's fault. You're a girl. Okay. With the name Joey, it's hard to be sure, so I wanted to ask. I mean, not that I would care either way. We have a lot of male crocheters too, and most of them are absolutely wonderful crocheters. So if you were a boy, I'd be fine with that too. But yes, Joey, my name is Margaret. I used to chat online every now and then with a really nice young lady in the Philippines. Um, she worked for the same company that I worked for, and even after I was no longer working with the company, she and I would still chat on Messenger now and then. I haven't seen her online in quite some time, but whenever I do see her, I try to drop her a quick hello. She was always a very sweet person to talk to. She was probably in her early 20s when we worked together. I mean, we worked for the same company, even though she was in the Philippines and I was in Illinois. But yeah. Yes, Linda, I do intend to do that. So yeah, this space right here, I'm like kind of tucked into a corner. So my living room is kind of L-shaped. So this would be like the long part of the L. Well, sort of. Um, Kind of is about half of my living room. But then down in front of me is the other part of the L, and it's a lot wider. Don't put baby in a corner. Well, I'm not really in a corner per se. I'm just at the end of the L. But what I intend to do is that cabinet of glass that you see back here behind me is going to end up being over here to my right hand side on that wall. And that will open up that corner for me to do other things with. This shelf that you see over on this side is actually going to get moved out of there because that is going to be the corner where I will put all of my musical instruments. I have quite a collection and I need a decent space to be able to put those. So Yeah, all my musical instruments are going to go over there. And then my bird, who lives over here next to my cabinet full of glass, is going to go all the way down to the other end of the living room, and she'll have a corner down there. I'm going to put that baby in the corner. And yeah, once I do that, that will open up some more storage space. I've got another set of metal shelves that I'm going to put together that also has, it's made so that you can put like a closet bar on it and have area to hang stuff. So what I will do is once I put that shelf together, the hanging area is going to be where I will display all of my crochet and my finished items, and I will yeah, put them there so that they'll be more visible. So yeah, I've got plans. I just need to get my butt in gear and do it. So yeah. If I could get my butt in gear and do it, moving my musical instruments to that corner would be a really good thing, because then I would have a lot more space in my bedroom to accomplish some things that I want to do in there. So it's like, I have so much to do and so much time to do it and just don't. Yes, getting butt in gear is the hardest part. You are definitely right about that, Kelsey. One thing leads to another. Yeah, yeah. Yes, if I would go ahead and get it started, and that's my thing. If I would just get started, it would light a fire under me and I'd want to get it done. Now, I know that once I start moving furniture around, it's going to kill me for a couple of days. So, yeah. Well, Linda, I can't complain about not having more room, not having enough room. But oh, Kelsey, let's not even talk about pile for garage sale. I have so much stuff for a garage sale. I could have a garage sale for a month, I think, with all the crap that I've got that I need to sell. What I really need is for my hubby to rent a dumpster and let me out in the garage, and I will start in out there, and then from the garage I'll go to the basement and start tossing stuff from there, and just keep going. One thing I have a lot of is, Tank, I would love to have a storage container. That would be absolutely awesome. I don't know where I'd put a storage container, but it would be fun. It would be great to have one. My skull sweater, yeah, I do love that sweater. That Camille and I were talking about that last night, about some of our makes that we kind of consider a masterpiece. And I think my skull sweater is one that I can consider a masterpiece. Oh, yeah, Kelsey, that's, well, I'd like to do what Tank is going to do. She's getting a, yeah, shipping container. And yeah, if I had space for a shipping container, I'd be all set. I could probably fit one into my backyard, but the problem is getting it into my backyard because on the back of my yard, I've got a shed, and then I've got a space where I've got a gate that opens up, but it's covered by a carport. The carport is attached to the garage, and that is pretty much the whole back width of my backyard. The only other part of my yard that I have that could be opened up, maybe to get a shipping container in, is on one side of my house. However, I've got my raised bed garden in that spot, so I couldn't have anything moved through there. So, yeah. I need, like Camille, I need to have some acreage so that I could have room. An outdoor kitchen with bathroom. Oh, that would be nice, Tank. It would be real nice to have an outdoor kitchen so you don't have to heat up your house in the summer with cooking. My sister used to rent a storage container that was finished off on the inside, and that's where she had her studio for quite a while. She really enjoyed having that. The only problem with it was is it did not have a bathroom in the unit that she was in. She had to walk down a way. It was kind of like an industrial slash office park, and it was all built from all these storage containers. Um, so they did have like an office building where you could go pay your rent on your container, and I think they had vending machines and a bathroom. So if she was at her studio, she would have to walk down there. And a 40-foot, wow. Kitchen storage and stainless countertops. That sounds nice. When I looked at this house to buy it, um, they had a stainless steel, kind of like a um, kitchen island on wheels. So it had like a stainless steel countertop and then shelves down below it. And I really would have liked it if they'd have left that here. Unfortunately, they didn't. But yeah, maybe someday I'll get rid of the table I've got out there and get one of those to replace it. I think it'd be kind of fun to have a bar height kitchen island and just have some bar stools out there to sit on. Right, Tank, that would be cool. Planning on selling like jams and jellies and stuff like that. Very cool. Well, Camille, at least you've got your bathroom done. That's a big step. Having a nice bathroom is such a good thing. I'd really love to redo this bathroom up here. Actually, I'd really love to do the bathroom down the basement um, because it's a much bigger basement or bathroom, and it would have space for me to do some things. Um, the bathroom up here, I talked to a friend of mine who is a kitchen and bath specialist, and that's what she went to school for. That's what she does for a living, is designs kitchens and bathrooms. And she was giving me some ideas of what to do with my bathroom, which were great ideas. However, my problem is I really want to move down south. And I kind of don't want to sink a whole lot more money into this house if I'm just going to sell it. You know, let the next person who buys it redesign it. Hello.
It snows in Texas.
No, they didn't really. Yes, she does want some, actually, Shokri. My hubby was asking if you wanted some snow in Texas, Camille. Marianne, he left the room, but I will tell him that later. Mr. Songbird. I'm sure he'd love that. When he and I first got together, he used to call me Bata, which in Arabic means duck or goose, because when we first got together, if he would talk to me, if he talked too fast, I couldn't always catch what he was saying because of his accent. Now I've gotten used to his accent and I have no problem. But back in those days, I was always saying, what, what? So he said I sounded like a duck quacking, so he would call me Bata. He doesn't call me that anymore. And you know, it's funny. I've known a lot of Arabic speakers over the years, and I never really realized how you know, you think of Arabic, you think of the language, and you just think anybody that speaks Arabic sounds the same. No, they have accents too, depending on what country they're from. And it really, it took a minute to, you know, kind of assimilate that idea, because it was like, okay, you don't sound like, you know, you don't sound the same as this person from Egypt or that person from Palestine, or, you know. And yeah, it was kind of, yeah, well, that's a man thing, selective hearing. Yeah. Well, yeah, they do have different dialects, but they also, it's kind of like, you know, people in the South speak English, but they have a Southern accent. You know, people in the Midwest speak English, but they have a certain accent. So, like Egyptian Arabic speakers have a different accent than, say, my husband, who's from Tunisia. Um, yeah, so see, I'll start calling you Bata, Camille. But it really did not sink into me for quite some time until I really started listening and comparing the different Arabic accents. And it was kind of funny because I was visiting my son, and we went to an Arabic restaurant, and the guy that was our server, I heard him talking in the background, and when he came back over to our table, I said, "Are you from Tunisia?" And he said, "Yeah, how did you know?" And I said, "Because I heard you talking and you sound just like my husband when he's speaking Arabic." And he was really excited. He says, "Your husband is from Tunisia? Where is he?" You know, Julianne, the shield is what they have changed the wrench that mods have or had. Now they have a shield instead of the wrench. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Yep, the wrench is gone. Now all the mods have shields. I don't know why YouTube changed it, but you know, they like to meddle. Yeah, check it out on your channel next time you have a live. Yeah, too bad we can't customize. That would be. This skein of yarn is getting really floppy. I hope it doesn't decide to be a butt and tangle up. I will be really upset. Okay, well, you guys, I am at a little over an hour, which is just right. So I am going to let you guys go on about your day. I'm going to go on about mine, figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the day. Well, I know one thing I need to do today is re-record those tutorials. So be watching for the tutorials later on. Thank you for coming, everybody. Julianne, Camille, Lana, Nifty, Marianne, Tank, all of you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Go do what you love, be with the people you love, and until the next time I see you, take care. Bye-bye, everybody.